Hi everyone, welcome back. It's Laura at Hyperstamper. Today's Antique Junk Journal is really special. I've had this book for actually a few years now, and I was going to use it as a teacher's junk journal because it's a teacher's manuals of art. So it is now an art journal. What I've done here is I've decorated the front with some vintage doily bits and some vintage scarf pieces that have beautiful embroidered artwork on there. I love the framing around the original cover here. We've got the word art still on the spine there. 50 cents. This book is exactly 100 years old. I'm very excited about that. And this is a little teeny tiny vintage, probably from the 40s, pencil on a string, a little mini one. That could have been used for lots of different reasons, but I'm thinking probably, as a scorecard or sometimes for bridge, each player would have one of these in a different color, because I do have about 20 of these, all different colors. So this is really special. This is an earring, and it is vintage, and it is actually quite old, and it's this beautiful, either copper or brass, I can't tell. And it is, of course, the artist palette and paintbrushes. Now, if you can see up here, it's one of those torturous old earrings that you would screw into your earlobe. So the new owner of this journal can just be mindful that that just needs to be tightened, or you can take it off altogether and glue it on somewhere, but that's where it lives for now. So let me show you the inside. And I just want to mention before I open it up that I acquired this beautiful Paris, France set of artist's crayons, and this is them inside, so they were used and loved. There's still 3 fully intact, and there's a red one here, and the rest are black. It is actually of value. I looked it up, but I'm not going to sell it separately. So that is a little special gift to the new owner of this journal. I'm going to put that aside, and then I've got my antique quill pen here, which an artist would have used. That's just for decoration, but you can see, whoop, a little quill inside. So let me take you on a journey. Everything in here, every single page is art themed. Every insert is art themed and artist themed, and it is just beautiful. It's all authentic, no commercial products. So there's the original first page, the publication date, and I love the inscription here. London, section 4, Dorchester. And then right here we have this sweet little 1920s piece here with the artist and her palette. And then this is a page from the 70s, sculpting in paper. And you can journal on the back of there. Woolworth and Woolco, do you remember those? 1973, so it is truly vintage. And then this is from this book, this art book, and this is a gorgeous plate here. This is from a different children's art book, a younger grade, and that would have been art education book. Also, oddly enough, from 1925. Big year for art. There's another piece here, and of course, probably the most famous piece of art in the world, Mona Lisa, and that is from 1937. And then I've got this here, which is from another art book, Division of Space, the Element of Ornament. And look at these beautiful designs. I just love them. So you can have lots of fun with that. I wrote myself a note here to remember who the artist of this was. So this is a piece by Henri Rousseau from Paris in 1956. And that is a replica in 1956 of an older piece. And this here is a beautiful 1880s cabinet card. And the reason I chose this is because I'm pretending she's an artist, but also on the back is an artist. Look at it, the easel with the paintbrush. And that is the advertisement for the photographer of the day. They're just spectacular. What a find. I'm so excited about everything here. This is from a vintage 1960s book here. We've got the girls here doing their art paintings of the beautiful valley here. And then this is from a 1930s book, Gateways to Bookland, The Youthful Artist. And look at this. Do you remember these in the backs of all the comics? Well, this is how to draw page, and whoever owned this, he tried to draw their own, and I just think that is so special. Look at that, isn't that gorgeous? And that is from the 50s, and that is from a teen music magazine, to be honest. So, but there was an advertisement on how to be an artist. And then I've got another piece of art here, which is a doily, which is a different form of art, but still artistic all the same. And this came from a 1960s how to paint book. You can see the illustration there with the paintbrush, but I just thought it was a beautiful piece, and you can do whatever you like with that. And then in this pocket on the other side, we've got the Craft for All series, the Art for All watercolor series. Isn't that great? So they're advertising instruction books on watercolor. And then we've got another beautiful 1960s page here, another set of students here painting on this landscape. This is an etching here, or sorry, a sketch, not an etch, a sketch of a beautiful waterfall, and that is a German piece from the 1800s. 1885 to be exact. This is a beautiful 1887 piece from Chatterbox. And we've got the other little artist here who is drawing from this horse model. And the little boy pretending to be the soldier for him to paint. Isn't that adorable? This here is from the early 1900s. It was the cover of a blank drawing book, book number 2. And so it was so brittle that I let it naturally flip in half and then made 2 pockets out of it. So on this one we have a vintage book called A Portrait of the Artist as a Young Man, and you can journal on the back of that. And another one up here, look at this great one. It's from a completely different, oh no, this is from this art book, sorry, I apologize. Yes, it is. How to draw this soldier. That little fellow over there could have learned from that. And that actually looks like a Boy Scout. Apologies, that's a Boy Scout. Isn't that great? How to draw feet. I'm so in love with this book, I can't even stand it. So it's, yeah, pretty cool. This is another 1925 art education page. Look at the vibrant colors there, and they're learning to draw here. And this is a postcard I just got from my friend Paige, who sent me that big box of goodies in my Happy Mail. If you saw the video today, I was a little out of my mind. This is from 1908. How awesome is that? And it's an artist. How perfect is that? I've never seen an artist postcard before. So that's a spectacular, beautiful addition to this journal. And then back here I included this 1930s birthday card from Enid. You can journal inside here. It was pulled out of a scrapbook, but I just thought the watercolor on that was beautiful. So I wanted to include that as well. And then on this side, we have Hall's, a book here, vintage book. And it has still some plates left in it from when I took them out. This is vintage. This is almost 60 years old. And yeah, I've left the plates in here so you can have fun with that. You can even make it into a mini journal if you like. And then here we have another beautiful piece of art. This is a gorgeous plate here. We've got the angel up here and the 2 folks down there. It's just beautiful. That says a Greek myth. And then this here is a beautiful antique quill. Isn't that pretty? And that is a thick bottom. And that would have been used for really beautiful thick calligraphy or artwork. There's another 1925 piece there, kids doing their art. This is another beautiful art piece, artist unknown, but I am going to look for this artist. Oh wait, now that I'm in a different light, I can sort of see something here at the bottom. So I will try to find it. It says Copper, David Copperfield. Oh, that's the name of the plate. Well, that's very cool. Look at the beautiful boxing on the back. So that's very precious. That's from the 1800s. That's original. And then this is a 1930s Beatrix Potter double page there. It's very brittle. And well, it's actually just it's got wet over somebody. Looks like they dropped it in a bathtub maybe over the last 100 years. But she's one of the most famous children's artists, illustrators. So I had to include one of her pieces. And for the artist who owns this, I put in some antique paper here so that you can do your own artwork if that's something you like, or just journal on it. And this beautiful vintage card here from the 30s, and that is A for art. I can make anything work in a theme. There's more from this book. And then this is really beautiful from 1906. It is a Norwegian folk art, and that is by a Norwegian artist, it says down there. Lovely little maiden and her cow. And here is another Henri Rousseau from 1956. And this is from another different children's book from the 30s. And this is from this book, Teacher's Manual of Art. And then over here, I just put this in because it's got this beautiful art piece in the stamp, and I put one of my antique paper flowers. Another beautiful landscape, how to landscape in ink. That's gorgeous. Elephants, very popular in the 18 and 1900s. And then this is just from another little children's art education book here. Isn't that gorgeous? Look at that beautiful coloring there. It's spectacular. And this here is infused rice paper with twigs. So even though this piece here is not vintage, it was also handmade. So it's not a commercial product. And another art page, and this is a full color plate here, all the different ways to sketch this scene. That looks like children's art, which I love. Looks like they used pencil crayon, or their version, maybe something like this for that. And actually it would be that, to be honest, in different colors. And more little children with their art. This is from 1930s and 1925 again. And one of the most famous nature artists anywhere is Edith Holden, and this is one of my favorite plates of hers. I'm finally giving it up. This is a book that is truly vintage. It is 60 years old, and it's not a modern photocopy or anything of that. Another children's book page here from the 30s. Paint colors. This is from this, the art education book from 1925, 1940s here. It's from this book, the wonderful art page. And look at this. This is from 1903, Girls' Own Annual. And this chapter is called, 1906. We've got the girl here doing her artwork up here. And this girl is writing in her book. And then this is a sketch, a painting by a canal. I love it. It's very special. It's a little brittle. So if it does crack, just glue it back in. And keep it forever. Another art education page here and here. Oh, look at the little art supplies down here. It's another plate from the book. This here is a nice little illustration here from the 60s, 59. And then I filled it with these wonderful little, it's just a little mini journal. It's got a little tuck spot there, little header here. I just love it. A little mini journal for the artist. More spaces to journal in. And this I pulled from a different book, Values of White to Black. And then this is another vintage How to Paint. And this came from a 1950s book here. Antique paper on the back to journal on. Put that in there. And this is from 1950. This is a steel etching that William Hogarth did. This is a famous one called The Pie Man. It's hilarious. He did very satirical characters, and it is not easy to engrave on steel, but because he was interested in making the most money he could, he did the engravings himself to cut out the middleman, which is fascinating. This I love. I love, love, love fonts and lettering. Beautiful, 100 years old. Probably can still find that font. Different compositions of the same subject, which is really interesting. Whoever owns this journal, just really take the time to go through every page. I love it. I hope you love making it your own, and you can find it in my Etsy shop, hyperstamper.etsy.com. Come back and don't forget to subscribe. Bye for now.